I don't care if you own a gun. I do care that monsters have guns. I do care that we are reluctant to do anything about the mental health disorders that produce monstrous acts. The tragic news reminds us that evil comes from within and without. We fear the foreign terrorist, but refuse to address the homegrown terrorist and the weapons that they wield. No doubt in the days and weeks to come, the ongoing debate concerning gun control will once again come and go. While the Constitution of the United States guarantees American citizens the right to keep and bear arms, why does this particular amendment stir such passions? Why the reluctance to legislate common sense gun control measures? Why do we live in fear of others more than we fear weapons that empower their evil deeds? The gun, it seems, is a central part of our national identity. We took up arms and rebelled against a tyrannical government. We fought each other with guns to put an end to slavery. We challenged each other to duels to resolve our differences. This is the legacy of the American love affair with guns. It is a paradox of sorts, a chicken and egg conundrum, and it isn't entirely clear if guns are the cause or the solution of this carnage. Of course, central to this debate are traditions of hunting and hobby that involve guns. I grew up in Arkansas. I'm well acquainted with all of these traditions. Neither of these, however, require me to have semi-automatic weaponry. If I want a tank, can I have a tank? Unlikely this is part of my Second Amendment liberties. But why do these disagreements on rights keep us so divided? Why is the common refrain, "They're going to take our guns"? It is difficult to imagine that the crafters of the Second Amendment could have envisioned the death that could be inflicted on so many in such a short amount of time. Or perhaps the Founding Fathers did imagine that change would come, that technology would advance, and that a good and free people would ensure the necessary moral underpinnings to secure the rights and the securities of the citizens of the United States at the same time. It is obvious that the moral foundation of this nation has changed, in some instances for the better and in some for the worse. But for whatever reason, the moral certitude that once collectively convinced us all that murder is wrong seems to be lost on some. Shouldn't we consider that our collective response should be to make it as difficult as possible for the immoral to obtain these weapons? Will they still find a way? Yes. Will the evil-hearted still maim, hurt, and kill? Yes. But killing 58 in 10 minutes or less, like the deranged did in Las Vegas, will be a great deal more difficult. Or the killing of children, like in Nashville. Why do Christians seem to especially love their guns? Jesus told Peter when he was in a position to defend himself, "Put away your sword." But we won't holster our guns. We won't surrender the most lethal of these killing machines for the greater good. I'm not talking about your hunting rifle or shotgun. I'm talking about weapons of war. Are we so insistent on our rights that we can't see the harm perpetuated by these weapons? Perhaps those that perpetuate these mass shootings are simply monsters. But why do we make it so easy for monsters to be armed? Perhaps a good guy with a gun will continue to be necessary to put down the bad guy with a gun. But where will this cycle of mayhem end? In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an eye for an eye leaves us all blind. Lord, help us all.